All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about what is wrong with Javonte Williams. But before we get into it, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. Drop a comment. It really helps me out as I am a new Broncos channel. I'm going to back up my microphone a little bit. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So, what is wrong with Javonte Williams? You'll notice that this slide is pretty long, which means there is not one thing that is, going bad for the Broncos this year. The entire run game has been very inconsistent this year. It's been very hit or miss. Some days I'm like, okay, the running game is back. We're going to have a good ground game to support our rookie quarterback. But it's been bad for probably, I'd say, 70% of the year. But Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte Williams both have their run stuffed at 20%. 20% for Jaleel and 18% for Javonte. And that's just not good. That is just not what you want. That's not helping your quarterback out. That's not getting your quarterback in positive situations. And to be fair, I think it was a lot worse early on in the year when we were playing Seattle and Pittsburgh, because we had those stats for like 3 weeks. That was like, oh, Bo Nix is the Broncos' leading rusher, which just wasn't good whatsoever. But I'm not entirely thrilled with the creativity or scheming of the run game in general. And actually, before I, just keep rambling, how about you watch some of these clips I'm talking about, and then we'll come back to this. Showing these runs, you'll notice that it pretty much only works out for the Broncos when anything's perfect. Right here against the Jets, huge hole, and he's able to churn his legs and go upfield. And honestly, that's a play that Javonte from last year probably doesn't make, so kudos to him for making that happen. This one, Jaleel just kind of bursts through the line, gets to the second level very nicely. This one, I don't really know, that he was just dead in the water before the play even began. This one just, runs into outside contain from the corner setting the edge right there. This one just up the gut, nothing fancy. Once again, getting to the second level. This one against Carolina, this is what I want to see more of. Even though this play doesn't really go for a huge gain, I want to see more of Marvin Mims, doing that little motion thing, because it's going to keep the defense honest. And right here, HP toss to Jaleel McLaughlin. There are some things this run game can do, but it's few and far between. So yeah, the pass pro has been great, but the run blocking, it's still a work in progress. And we have a rookie center, we have a rookie quarterback. So obviously with stuff like IDing the mic and just knowing in general where the run play is supposed to be, where there's going to be mismatches on the defensive side of the ball. Yes, should we be able to do that? Sure. But run blocking has not been a strength of this offensive line this year. It was last year. But pass blocking has been what's really good this year. And honestly, if we just keep running the ball, it's going to set up a lot of play action so that Bo Nix can take advantage. Another thing I have not mentioned is that statistically, numbers do not favor Javonte Williams. Teams are going to stack the box to make Bo Nix beat them with his arm. And Javonte Williams has faced the fourth highest percentage of 8-man boxes in the league. So that shows you that Nix was not getting a lot of respect, at least in the first half of this year, with his arm. I expect that to go down, considering that Bo Nix did just have around 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Carolina Panthers. We'll see what the Baltimore Ravens do and how they want to attack everything. But the main thing that concerns me is that Javonte Williams, he never put the rock on the ground before this year. Maybe had, a couple fumbles once or twice. I remember Seattle on the goal line in 2022 in week 1 where Javonte and Melvin both fumbled at the 1-yard line, which, good Lord. But he now has a fumbling problem. He's fumbled twice in 2 games, and one of them was against Tampa Bay, and it didn't really end up hurting us all that much. But one of them was against the Chargers, and it kind of destroyed our chances of making it a competitive game, at least within a reasonable time span, because we did make it a competitive game, but ultimately it was too little, it was too late for that day. But individually, he has also not been great. And I'm just going to tell you something. It starts with the injury. He lost a decent bit of explosiveness and the only bit of agility that he did have, because he was one of the best tackle-breaking running backs in the NFL. And you don't get that by being a slower player. Like, yes, he was slower for NFL standards as a running back, but he was never like a slug or anything like that. He was never exclusively a power back. He did, have some shiftiness and some elusiveness and some burst to his game. But unfortunately, when you tear your ACL, or not even when you tear your ACL in his case, because he tore his PCL, he tore his LCL, he eviscerated his knee. But we don't really know what the data is like on knees that completely explode, because it's often said that 1 year after the ACL removal, or 2 years after the ACL removal, a player should be 100% up to speed and suffer no, setbacks within their play or production or the injury or anything like that. But we don't really have a lot of information as far as how Javonte's injury is going to affect players, more specifically running backs, because very, very few players suffer the injury that he did, and even fewer suffer it at the position where speed is 70 to 80% of the game there. And Javonte Williams has minus 45 rushing yards over expected this year. Actually, not minus. I should have just said negative because that was awkward. But negative 45 rushing yards over expected this year. That's third worst in the NFL. The only guy who's behind him is, I believe, Chuba Hubbard and someone else I can't remember at this point. And one of the saving graces from his game, his rookie year, was the ability to break tackles at a historic rate. He had one of the best tackle breaking seasons ever, and he was just a rookie in 2021. But he has never been like a guy who relied on his vision to make things happen. And when you're about to watch these runs, you'll see that when everything is perfect, it often works out for Javonte Williams and the run game. This one, not Javonte's fault. Guy just comes unblocked straight up the middle. That's been a huge issue for the Broncos this year, as you'll see. And I think part of that is going to be having a rookie center and a rookie quarterback pretty much all year. Or Forsyth's not a rookie, but pretty much first-year center starter. And I think this is something that can improve with time. You'll notice that he tries to ID the mic right here, and Quinn Williams just blows Wattenberg off the line. Like, I don't know, Wattenberg just never had a chance. It's not that big of a red flag to get beat by elite players, but once again, young center against Quinn Williams, who's going to win. This one, once again, a guy just comes un-ID'd or unmarked straight up the middle. This one, Javonte Williams takes it, and Spillane just kind of gets some nice pursuit on him. So it's kind of a mix of everything. You'll notice that it's kind of a mix of everything. There's not one answer as to why the run game is not working that well for the Denver Broncos. This one, it's another one where, the entire defense just sniffs it out and you absolutely go nowhere. Listen, he is still a useful player. He's a reliable receiving body, and he's an excellent pass protection running back. He's probably headed on the Samaje Perine career arc, which is not a bad thing. But I want to see some more of the others. I want to see Estime get involved. I want to see Jaleel, we've only been giving him probably about 5 to 10 touches a game at very most. I want to see him get more involved. I want to see him get more involved in the run game. Maybe you give him 8 carries instead of, 3 carries and 2 attempts to catch a pass or something like that. Blake Watson is a name that I'd keep an eye on. Same with Tyler Bidet, because we don't really know what's going on with that back injury. But if this continues, this position is just going to get overhauled in the offseason, and it's probably going to get overhauled anyway, given the state of the position in general within the NFL. But he still means a lot to this team. But there's a reason that his future here is so uncertain and murky. And just watch a little bit of Javonte Williams, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me just get this straight. Javonte Williams has done some pretty nice things this year. Like, for example, on this run, he makes a guy miss on the Raiders, but unfortunately there's Nate Hobbs waiting for him on the right side of the field. This one, he finally gets upfield, but just doesn't have enough burst to really get to the end zone. But he does get them down at the 1-yard line, so that is something. This one, the hole is actually pretty good against the Jets, and they do a pretty good job of blocking this one, and Javonte cuts upfield. He's able to make something happen. And this one against the Saints, perfectly blocked. Great job by Javonte for recognizing the hole instantly. Once again, another great job by recognizing the hole instantly. And as long as everything is perfect, he can make something happen. And he is still a useful NFL body. I will not deny that whatsoever. All this is painful because we are probably never getting the Javonte Williams that we saw in his rookie year. We are probably never going to get the Javonte Williams that George Payton traded up for in the 2021 draft. Is he going to be, a viable NFL player? Yes. Like I said, in the Samaje Perine role, that is not a bad thing. There is always going to be a role for you on an NFL roster if you can protect the quarterback, if you can keep the quarterback upright, and if you can, catch a check down pass every now and then. So, yeah. All right, that does it for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter, Kodiak Broncos, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.